All right there. Wish everyone got Robbie in here, magnetic. It's a little bit late today, but we had some yard work out there to conquer. Park, that's good water. So let's see. The brother was supposed to, because he put some other comments. The brother that we didn't get a chance. What was his name? Double Edge. Uh, um, yeah, well, either way, we got King Math, which is deal. We got we just take it because kind of today, the title of today, memorizing the lessons. You know what I'm saying? That is a mistake that a lot of people make. A lot of people make the mistake of memorizing the lessons. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is a mistake is because, see, you can, finish memorizing something. Like have some things memorized, in the past, maybe you had a speech, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you had, something for school or something that you had to memorize. You know, but yeah, perhaps you had something that you had to memorize, right? And you uh, kind of dealt with whatever whatever was the reason that you memorized that, right? And that's kind of over. It's complete. You see, with the lessons, you got to study. And see, the repetition in the memory, right, just allows you to study them with precision. Because we're not just talking about the lessons, right? We're not, using, our interpretation to come up with an understanding, right? We have the lessons committed to memory so that we can study them, right? So that, when, you know, as we come in tune with other ideas, right? Meaning whatever else it is that, you're coming in tune with whether you experiencing it or whether you're researching it or whatever, right? We have lessons committed to memory, right? We don't have to go back to the house, you know what I mean, and check the script. So the memorization is just a tool, really. But what you really have to do is study the lessons. And see, studying the lessons. Now we in a different. So you can never complete studying. You see what I'm saying? So your tool of memorization, you're gonna keep it sharp. You know, the lesson is like, yeah, you know, we commit them to memory and we speak them right within our ciphers, right, with our brothers and sisters. But that's just for practice. Now you gotta go live it out. You see, and now is when the discipline comes into play. So let's see if it's just a cipher right here with me and Arabi and King Math and Magnetic and Divine Understanding, right? Then this is closed in right here. But now when we go out there to deal with our Lord, right? How you gonna make unlike repel in the flesh? See, how you gonna make word is bond? You're gonna have to, in order to be precise, at least with doing that, you're gonna have to have some things, that you committed to memory so that you know exactly what it is that you're experiencing. But see, now is the difference between memorization and study. If you just remember it, then what can it really do for you right now? Because see, when you're looking at the lessons, right, these is talking about events and people, right, that occurred and existed thousands of years ago. So these are people, right, that existed thousands of years ago, right? Events that occurred thousands of years ago under different conditions and in different places. To see, this is why memory will do you no good. You see what I'm saying? If you're not studying them and you're not studying yourself and you're not studying your environment. You see what I'm saying? See, look, you see how the lessons say expired 1914, right? And then it says that there's a 70-year grace period, right? So that brings you up to 1984, correct? See, you have people who misunderstood. See, they had the lessons memorized, right? But they wasn't really studying them. They didn't really get to understand. So see, you have people, right, that on December 31st, 1983, right, they went out and got stimulated. They went out, got high, celebrating, thinking that, tomorrow they was going to wake up, and I guess it was supposed to be like the rapture or whatever, and either, the sky was supposed to open up or the ground was supposed to open up and all the colored people was going to disappear. Whatever it was that they thought, see, because they only memorized the lessons. They didn't really study it to get no meaning. They didn't look at it to see, look, if you study in the lessons, right, then you're going to notice that Elijah Muhammad says expired 1914, right? But the lessons is written in 1934. So that's not a prediction. You see what I'm saying? That's what lets you know right there that it's something that has to be drawn up by the third eye, because the naked eye can hardly detect it. You see what I'm saying? If you just read the paper and memorize it, you wouldn't get to the to that. How many people notice that? Type one, type one in the box right here. If you realize that that was not a prediction because it was already 1934. See, there's a lot of things in the lessons like that that you got to study. See, that's what science is, right? It's the study of things. So, like I said, the brother Double Edge, he reminds me of that because, he made me think of that topic because of the simple fact that uh, you know, he got what is it, self-fired bill? What is this? Oh, face value, no bueno. Yeah, I mean, see, when you memorizing, you're not even taking it on face value. See, when you memorizing, it really has no meaning. Like, see, children, right? You can teach them to memorize the lessons, right? And they don't know what it means because they haven't been through the study of themselves, the study of their environment, or the study of them lessons for long enough to really get no meaning from it. And when you don't get meaning from it, right, and you're not studying it, then you're not going to keep it on cap. You're not using it in your daily, endeavors to come up with no understanding, with no wisdom and understanding. So that's why people who had it memorized, right? If you notice, those people who had it memorized, right? They used to know it. Those people, right? They used to know this, right? They had it memorized. How many times have you run up on somebody, right? I'm talking about somebody that might leave out a word or a phrase right here, right? Or somebody that might catch a brain freeze or one. Go somebody you ready? Somebody don't know no degrees, and they got all this wisdom and understanding. At 793rd, True Self, Supreme Islam, Self I Build, Black Justice. Like you said, it's important to apply the lessons to yourself also. That will help you make the lesson walk and talk. That's sharing love. That's you know, there was a brother a couple of lives ago that was asking about, kind of the science too, in terms of, how do you become, if I understood his question correctly, how do you become a master of it? Now you've been exposed to it, but, you see, people, but that's what it is. You got to see it walking and talking. And the reality is, you know, it's only, the original man with proper knowledge of himself that can make him walk and talk. Because otherwise, these things is, concepts and ideas that we pass on. It might be pictures and artwork. It might even be, books and scripts. You see, none of them things is living. None of them things is walking and talking. See, those is memories preserved. But now, for them to mean something right now, you got to go see the only people that can make it walk and talk. You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, you might as well, there's other nations, right? Other families where you can go, right? And here's the thing. There's other nations where you can go, right? And they have people that's supposed to be designated for your salvation. You know what I mean? Where you got, a rabbi or a priest or, whatever that, this person, they could pray for you or whatever. If you lack understanding, they're supposed to have the understanding for you. But see, what always happens, the people end up going off course in between the time you ain't around this, spiritual guide or whatever. You know, you can't live it out on your own. You can come and hear about it and then, I guess do your best or whatever. And that type of idea. You paying the price for what you're doing no matter what you think. You just feel better on the inside. Your conscience or whatever may feel better. Yeah, I had to spare y'all real quick. Y'all don't want to memorize the past couple minutes right there. Steph So said, when learning the lessons, one should seek understanding while learning, but should not come once you knowledge them and can wisdom, or should that come once you knowledge them and can wisdom the lessons? You know, understanding, is growth and development. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, the way how growth and development comes, is unique. You understand what I'm saying? On every level. So what I'm saying is this, because that actually after I said it, that sounds a little confusing to me myself. Uh, see, when you study in the lessons, right? When you study the knowledge degree, let's take the knowledge degree, right? You know, who's the original man, right? We know that original means first. We have a picture here, right, of someone who there was no one present to record them coming into existence. That's the original, right? That's the source of all the rest. So you can get that understanding from the just hearing that degree. Who's the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker of the only human planet Earth, father civilization, God of the universe. Right? That all those different things that I said about the original being first, having no birth record, et cetera, et cetera. You're talking about the black man. So you could understand that just from knowledge in that degree. But you know, that's one aspect of all of the lessons. You see what I'm saying? In the same way, if you said who's the original man, right? And it just said the Asiatic black man, there would be more for you to observe in order to get a full understanding of what is meant in that degree. It's the same thing with the entirety of 120 lessons. Is that if you only know the knowledge degree, right, then you're missing some other information that is going to take for you to use your judgment and come up with a clear picture, right, of all these different events and people and their interactions that exist in the lessons. And what I'm saying is that, each of those levels, when I said that it's unique, meaning that, you gotta, if you've grown, if your growth and development has brought you to a level where you understand, right? You have a picture of what the knowledge degree in the 1 in 10 means, then you can build on that. But per se, when it comes to, you know, uh, well, why did God make devil? See, that's another level where you may not have understand. I'm not saying you in particular. I don't know if you know what I'm talking. But somebody who's only on a knowledge degree in the 1 in 10, they don't understand all of these parts where it says, okay, we didn't make it a whole new premium planet Earth, right? See, when you get into your 1 and 14, right? It starts now. You start, the black man is God and the owner of the earth. It belongs to the original man. We've chosen for ourselves the best part. So see, now you it's starting to go more into detail of the things what it told you in the knowledge degree in the 1 and 10, that is. You know, but what you gotta realize is that it's 85% born every second. So, you know, there's somewhere in the universe from the second you get on point, there's somewhere in the universe where you can go over there and drop bombs. So that's what it means when they say, man, we weren't the same, we all did quad. See, a lot of people think that means for you to come and teach me that we should be here exchanging knowledge, and you tell me about making toy airplanes and shit, and that's supposed to be the same as me teaching you about the science of mathematics. But what it means is that yeah, you could go somewhere and there's people there that don't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you have, right? And it's your duty to step up and be the captain there. See, like sometimes the topic comes up, we could just be talking about the history of time. And they could be talking about a degree of time where it's like, yeah, I wasn't there when that happened. And the people that's having the conversation, they was there. So I'm proud to show you in this conversation. Steph So said, I have supreme mathematics, supreme alphabet, student enrollment, 1 in 14. I'm currently in the 1 in 40 dealing with the wisdom and standard degree. So what about the 1 in 36? But I mean, look, you close. You almost, you only got one big boy left to go. You know what I'm saying? You got the coaching degree and the born degree in the 1 in 14, and you got the build destroy degree and the wisdom build destroy degree in the 140. Those is the ones that, at least for me, that you know, stood out. Those was the those are, you tell those was a challenge when you just visualized it. Yeah, you almost done. But you don't have a 136. See, let me tell you something, London thing. Okay. You said you have got the 136 yet, or you have not got the 136 yet. So let me tell you what it is too, right? See, and I don't know if this is what you're saying, but I'm just for example, just an ample sample for example, right? It's, you kind of you this is kind of lofty. You see, so what could be happening, right, is that you're not getting the opportunity. You're not expressing the knowledge enough. So you don't have the 136. Hmm, that's all right. How you got your lessons? But see, what happens is you got to remember that. See, it's you know when you coming into the knowledge, right? You know, or even if you was born in the knowledge, right? You're still new to the exercise of living it out. You see what I'm saying? And so you got to demonstrate your power to even yourself and see how you get to do that, right? How you get to do that is when you build it. Like you got to actually go out there. Like there's nobody that discovered they could dunk a basketball sitting on the couch. You see what I'm saying? You got to go out there and then the knowledge that you have of yourself and the knowledge of that people have of you, right, is is being shown and proven. The world has to bear witness. It's the same thing with this knowledge, where you actually got to be, building and manifesting, and then you start seeing, right? You start seeing the power. You start demonstrating. You see the demonstration of your own power. So that's what could be happening, when you're saying like, like, yeah, you should, wisdom understanding degree in the 140, there's plenty of people, that, you be able to, shine light on things and open their mind, but you wouldn't realize it if you just sitting there listening to the lives and then you're not realizing. You gotta get into the action. You understand what I'm saying? Even in terms of, you know, you learning how to get your like, when you're speaking to people, you're trying to have them get an understanding of what you're saying. When you first get the supreme mathematics, the first couple of days you got the knowledge or whatever, right? And you're trying to explain to people that the black man is God, you really don't, because you don't even have the language, right? You don't have the devices to really get that point across. You see what I'm saying? But as building, as you putting this into activation, your sword gets sharper. Power born the law. I know power born the law. So Black Justice said, I'm getting it in that order. Also, I'm dealing with the wisdom builder. So you got the order, you getting the 1 in 36 last. Is that what you're saying? Ravi said, when I first saw the 28th degree, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, hell no, this shit is too long. I'm glad I got over a little laziness. Yeah, pretty much, when I saw the big degrees, I was like, wow, this is, you know, you kind of get lured in with the 1 in 10 and everything. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so Black Justice, why are you getting it with the 1 to 36 last. So KO Supreme said, so you built with me last month. You got a question about the lesson? Okay, well, this is the time. This is the time right here to go ahead and ask. So CERN Love said Supreme Wisdom has the 136 left. So Power Born and Black Justice, right? Who are y'all getting? Who are y'all getting the lessons from? And why are you getting the 136 last? KO Supreme, ask your question. So Black Justice says, I'm being walked through my lessons by God Divine Justice from Medina. So he's giving it to me how he got it from the firstborn of Medina. Divine Justice from Medina. From what's his physical degree? So KO Supreme said about equality because I hear sometimes when people building, they give it negative connotation, and I wanted to know why. Uh, well, give me an example of what you mean when you say negative connotation. Yeah. Okay, so KO Supreme said he's giving them in the order that the lessons were completed. Okay. KO Supreme said I was watching a video and I forgot what the other dude said, but the other guy disagreed and said that's equality, not God. Well, I mean, that's not negative. If it's equality, then it's not God. So I want to say the God is in his power is. I can't hmm. And how you look? Yeah, you can't, now here's what you gotta realize now, chaos supreme, right? Is that, you know, for every mathematics, right, you know, just in life, you got two polarities there, right? You got knowledge and you got trick knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? So, for everything, there's positive and negative. Like in every atom that exists, right? You got protons, you got neutrons, you got electrons. So it's positive and negative in everything. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You got you know wisdom and you have just impetuousness. Where people just do whatever. With no guiding principle whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? You got understanding and you got misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? You got culture and you got ratchetness. It's down the line. You know what I mean? So you got people that, you know, have good equality and people that have poor equality, right? This water is drawn up for 6 miles, but then it comes back to the planet, that's 6 miles too. 6 miles up, 6 miles down. So I'm not, hold on 1 second. Let's just get it. And that was some Illuminati shit because I was talking and then the screen said that it was muted. But so you say Power Born is who I'm getting my lessons through. He told me something similar, but I don't want to put words in God's mouth. No, see, you need to know that. You need to know why you got it the way you got it. See, that's the important thing, right? What is the lesson that you're getting by getting it like that? You see what I'm saying? Like, see, I got mine in uh, the relationship of the ease of digestion, of the food. So I got 1 to 10, 136, 1 to 14, 1 to 40. Robbie said we got it from the firstborns in Medina too. So Allah is seen and heard everywhere. The cream always rises. So he said, divine justice is a knowledge seed, Barbara. Hmm. I have to can't say off top that I know the guy, but probably do. So Robbie, you got yours 1 to 10, 1 to 36, 1 to 14, then 1 to 40 as well. You know, I mean, that was but you know, you got some people get to 1 to 14 before the 1 to 36. But yeah, in terms of, you saying that people were speaking about equality in the negative light, I mean, I'd say this, right? You know, that shouldn't be happening from, a standpoint of this, right? But I'm gonna put some words in your mouth here, right? You type in the box if you disagree, stop me, right? You know, your cipher is supreme, right? And again, I'm assuming here by your cipher, you mean the whole thing. Because remember, your cipher is only going to be as strong as the weakest link. So if you have an element of your cipher that's negative, right, then your cipher is going to be negative. See, that's why it's destroyed right before it gets to born. So if there's some bad equality in there, you destroy that. So then what you're dealing with is your idea is born live. You see what I'm saying? So every element of your cipher, right, has to be just as supreme as the knowledge. Or what you're going to make born is not going to be supreme. So, I'm just saying from the standpoint of, what you should be looking at equality as in your cipher. You know, how you should be, what kind of light you put in sin. I don't know what light you were saying that some people may speak of it as negativity, right? But I'm just telling you what is the impact of your equality or any other element of your cipher being negative, right? Is going to be the product is going to be your ideas born dead. Anything that you have and it's going through steps and stages, and one step and stage is wrong, that's it. That's how mathematics work, right? If you have a mathematical, uh, solution that you're looking for, that it takes multiple steps. Let's say you need to get the solution of the area, right? When the length is 238 feet and the width is 57 feet. In order to do that calculation, right, you got to go through steps and stages. And if one of those steps and stages is wrong, then ultimately your solution is not going to work. There's one funny thing about that. It's possible to fuck up twice in that situation and still end up with the right still end up with the right answer, but for the wrong reason. Okay, so okay, you know what? I've never heard it quite explained like this right here. Like Justice said, 1 in 10 is milk, 1 in 14 is potatoes and vegetables, 1 in 40 is meat, and then 1 in 36 is milk and cookies. You know, I do that. Yeah, KO Supreme. So, I'm just telling you that that's how you look at equality. You know what I'm saying? Equality is not limited. Six is limited. Remember that. Arabi says Sean proved 9,000 miles in the 136. I mean, they're not ready for that. They're not. You talking about the sauce? They're not. Sauce is too spicy for them. And no, that's it. People, I keep telling people. I got things that we ain't even going to discuss that. We ain't even going to discuss that. Milk and cookies. Oh, Black Justice. Well, he's not at the 136 here. He gets it last. So, it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to. But ultimately, you got to remember that the lessons wasn't originally given out in any particular order. At least, not in Mecca in the beginning. Some people may have, gotten the whole 120 lessons, and some people, got them one at a time, but they wasn't given out in any particular order. One of the ideas behind that is different people had different lessons, and you had to come together in order to get all of it. So this they was put in order, according to, some people put it in chronological order. You know what I mean? Some people just put it in the orders of the numbers. So 10, 14, 36, 40, just as the order of numbers. 11 30 said you would be better off saying macaroni and cheese. I mean, I guess, well, if you're I mean, I guess if you're eating, if you're digesting the 1 in 36 after the 1 in 40, then yeah, it's kind of more milk and cookies, you know. Whereas, in our order, it's a little more nutritious. Like, it's I mean, well, I don't know because I didn't know how to the other way. You said, what about actual facts and solar facts? Oh, well, yeah, he didn't put that right there, but those is this description right here where he's describing things as the milk and the meat and all of that. Generally, hasn't included the actual facts and solar facts. You got any other questions out there? Or have we all, we all just memorizing the lessons? Because see, when you just memorize the lessons, right, you don't notice, like you don't notice the 9,980 years. You don't notice that. You know what I mean? What is this certain love? You said not at first. I don't not at first. So you gotta remember when you type it in the box, right? You gotta remember I'm running my mouth. So I'm going through topics, and then you might say something from a topic a couple minutes ago. Yeah, see this right here? True self, 15 questions, 15 answers, and 6 statements. Yeah, you gotta be hey, hey, peace. That's it. You know, you might have looked at the lessons a couple of times. Coach Wise is out. Yeah, I know. Well, it looks like everybody is all wise and righteous today. So we might be able to wind this one down early. I just told you I was out there too doing some of my 18th century yard work. It's at the end of well, the beginning of the spring and the end of the summer, I do get everything kind of cleaned up and in the place where it's supposed to be. Things gotta like switch over, things that, we don't need in the summertime. It's time to pull that back out. Some other things we can tuck that away. So, a little bit. Because I'm involuntarily fasting today, so I don't want to be messing with y'all too late till I can't get no food. You said that I said everyone wants to save the world. We got to save the block first. Yeah, you know, see a lot of this, Armageddon, you know what I'm saying, and you know, you know, fire and brimstone, Jesus coming back. See, when we say, destroy the devil in one day, right? We understand how much time might go into that one day. See, because remember, he said, me and my people have been waiting 379 years to see this day. But this event, the great rapture and shit, that everybody's expecting to happen, right? That everybody's been programmed with through religion, right? Because look, even in the Western, right? They telling you it took, you know, billions, trillions of years, right, for a person, for us leg, arm, supreme head, modern, what they call modern humans, right? So what do you think this time is going to happen in one day? Like just said, I'm a truck driver, so the way I get everything in cap is by recording myself, quoting the lessons, and I play them back till I have them cap. Then throughout my drive, repeating them to myself. Yeah, the Brownsville method might do the Brownsville method might do some good for you. Yeah, you repeat the lesson, right? 7 times, 7 times a day. See, because a lot of these passive methods of studying the lessons, what I'm saying, right, is see now the amount of senses that you use to deal with some phenomenon, whatever it is, right, increases the experience. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that, you know, reading the lessons, right? Hearing people quoting the lessons, right? When you in the cipher, speaking the lessons, right? Being outside in the cold, being outside in the heat, being outside in the rain, all these different uh stimulus reinforces the knowledge. You see what I'm saying? To the point where, right, Robbie could tell you this, when we was getting it, we was taught to quote the lessons looking in the mirror. To look at our mouth forming the words and everything. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, those is all levels of memory, right? Just like you got muscle memory of certain things you could do on the truck now without even looking. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, the first time you might have been uh driving the truck, but now you just right? Or some people might recall, right? If you're old enough, right? If you're you gotta be, maybe if you over like free cipher, right? You might recall before we could save everybody's phone number in the cell phone, and you had to actually dial the number. And there was some people's number that you didn't recall. Like if somebody asked you what's that number, you couldn't tell them the numbers, at least not at first, right? But what you could do is you can go to the phone and dial the number because the muscle memory was in your arm, but you didn't have it reinforced through other senses, right? Of seeing it and hearing it in those other sensory centers. So, make sure that you exercise all those other senses, right? Because see, you right patterns, 793rd. You see what I'm saying? Because see, what happens, right, is you that's kind of the easy way out. You understand what I'm saying? And with the lessons, it just don't work like that. There's no easy way. You know what I'm saying? So just my advice. Yes, sir. All right. So yeah, you free understanding. So you recall before you know, everybody had cell phones and you just kind of saved everybody's number. You know what I'm saying? To see, like you said I study and prepare myself because when I build with the guy in sound, he's coming at that terrific speed. That's what I'm saying. Is that, you know, it's like uh, you a truck driver, right? So it's like you read the book, right? And you watch the film strip, right? And maybe even you parallel park in the parking lot, right? But that's not 95. That's not that's not the 301. You see what I'm saying? And the only way you're gonna be able to get on 95 is you gotta just drive, you gotta leave out the parking lot. You know what I mean? You gotta drive on the street, you gotta drive 20, 30, 40, and 50 before you can drive 60 and 70. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta make sure that you speak in the lessons, you know what I mean? And then like you said, when you come in tune with the guy, you hearing the lessons, and it's becoming reinforced, right? To where, what they used to call, which I never liked. I never liked that phrase. Not in reference to this particular thing I'm going to say, but people say it becomes second nature. Mathematics is not my second nature, but I get their point. That it's something that you're consciously learning how to do, right? But you're learning it to the point where you're uh, internalizing. So, God damn it. So yeah, we got any other questions here? Yeah, because yeah, I'm really trying to wind down here. I gotta go get me some God degrees. You know, some food. Let me not be fancy. Let me not be fancy and then see next thing everybody's saying and talking about they heard of it. But yeah, go give me some food. So I guess that is going once, going twice. Yeah. Oh, actually, you know something? Wait a minute. I gotta be up. I just thought about something. Hold on. Here we go. That just what made everything click with me is when I learned that 120 is me, meaning applying the lessons to self. All right, now this is a very tricky statement you just made. You planning on coming on when you planning on coming back? Because see, look, we're just gonna take 2 minutes. We're gonna take 2 minutes. That's when I asked you a question. You said 120 is me, right? Now, in the 120 lessons, it has a lesson that says, what is a real devil? I mean, it also says, who is the original man? But I'm just saying that it says, what is a real devil? So when you say the lessons is me, right? Were you taking that into consideration? You there, Black Justice? So you have taken that into consideration, right? Okay, so how do you see that? How do you correlate that? How do you yeah, this lesson that says what is a real devil and you are the lesson. Or you said 120 is me. So you said when I was a slave of a mental death and power, I did in fact make devil. Yeah, but it says, what is a real devil? And you said 120 is me, meaning applying the lessons to self. You said is me, not was me. Okay, getting the knowledge and taking the four devil's heads got you cleaned up, right? But now this is a different. So okay, you haven't completed. You haven't completed the 140th, right? But when you do complete it, it'll tell you that the devil gets taken off your planet. That you're supposed to be receiving rewards in regards to destruction of the devil. So my question there would be is then why would then this said devil still be relating to you? What about the said nations other than Islam? See, that's because we got to be out. See, the lessons is different examples of who's God, who's the devil, And what happened when they mix together on planet Earth? You get this same thing when you look in the Bible, when you look in the Quran, when you look in the Bhagavad Gita, when you look at the Tao, the Ching, all of these different, right? But this is the particular one that we have on cap that is relevant to the wilderness of North America where we have, right? It was written. The question was answered by an individual that was a part of the present day environment here, right? And he was one of us. So this is the one that we deal with, you know. But that's what it is. We're not the lesson. You know what I'm saying? The lesson is something that we might embody some of the lessons. We may live out some of the lessons, but some of the lessons is strictly things to be avoided. Like when you're talking about 21 to 32 and the 1 to 40, I wouldn't say that any of that is me. I wouldn't. I can't tell you who you are, but for me, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do. But like I said, we gotta get up out of here. We got a little situation where I need to be out fairly quickly. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna sign off and say peace. You know what I'm saying? Just remember to, that's what we ended up doing. Study the lessons. Don't just memorize them. Don't think that this is it, because you can memorize the lessons, right? And like I said, there's degrees in there in particular. Like the 10th degree in the 1 of 14, where you have to study that lesson and get the meaning of it. See what I'm saying? If you just go off the words right there on the paper, right, that you memorize it, right, and not studying them and really getting the lesson from it, then it can lead you, off the extreme deep end. Off the extreme deep end, right? If you don't understand, right, that these are ideas. If you take that on face value, you could end up way out there. You said wisdom, knowledge. I said wisdom, knowledge to understanding wisdom in the 140. I wouldn't say that any of those degrees is me. Like there's nothing that's happening in any of those degrees that pertains to me. Besides knowing what and how the devil is made, right? So that I don't end up being the tool and the slave of them. But there's nothing in there, that pertains directly to me. Where it's like when I look at that degree, I see me, right? Like, when we look at the uh the 10th degree, let's take that now to the 10th degree in the 140, right? You got the son of man that agreed and the son of man that searched for trillions of years. So when I look in that degree, see, I'm the son of man that agreed that there is no God but the son of man. And lost no time searching for that does not exist. You see what I'm saying? When you looking in these degrees, right? When they say the sun and moon have attracting power on our planet, which one are you? Are you the sun and moon on our planet? So this is what I'm saying. That when you look at the lessons, like I guess I feel what you're saying in terms of you mean that you got to internalize these lessons, and without you, what I'm saying, the understanding will never be born from it or whatever. I guess that's what you're saying. But I'm saying that if you're in certain lessons, like when you look at the knowledge degree in the in the in the 114, are you us or them? That's what, at least from my standpoint, that's what it means when you say, okay, this lesson, like see the knowledge degree, yeah, that's me. The wisdom degree, that's not me. And the 1 and 10. So, I wouldn't make that statement. But like I said, we're gonna sign down and say peace.